AMD fans, I know it's a little hard when you're losing. You just had Alder Lake desktop parts come out with all kinds of crushing performance, especially down at that lower end. You had Alder Lake laptop CPUs come out that are so fast they're even giving the Mac M1 a run for the money. That's how fast they are. You're going, I need some good news here. I need something, Gordon, that I can go on to Twitter and I can just get in that Intel fan's face and just tweak them. Well, that moment is here. It is, of course, AMD's new Ryzen Threadripper Pro 5000 series. It is, of course, the awesome Zen 3 cores put into Threadripper Pro. Bad news, if you're looking for the non-pro parts that are actually sort of the high-end desktop parts that some people actually did buy that are enthusiasts, that's not here. It's not really clear what is going on. There have been rumors that that may not even show up. The good news is, for people who do want real professional workstations, you got that here with the Ryzen 5000 Pro. Bang! 64 cores, Zen 3, new cores, better CCD clusters, also higher boost clocks. You're now able to get up to 4.5 gigahertz with Ryzen 5000. And yes, you still get your insane amounts of PCIe 4.0 lanes. How many, Gordon? 128 lanes. Way more power efficient. One single 64-core Threadripper Pro 5995X gives you 67% lower power per core, 39% rendering, and twice the power efficiency of two 28-core Xeon Platinum 8280 CPUs. That's two Xeons that one Threadripper is faster in. Good news there. And of course, the good news is there's 5 chips. Last time we only got 4. The addition here is one more 24-core chip. Yay, if you don't need it, if you just really need it, only 24 cores. Of course, the bad news for Intel is the best Intel has that can go up against it is the W3300 series. That's built on Ice Lake. Yes, Ice Lake. You don't even know what Ice Lake is. Ice Lake was originally introduced with the original 10th gen mobile CPUs. It was a very good CPU, mostly because Ryzen hadn't come out yet. Ryzen 5000 hadn't come out yet. And also, it was a huge improvement over the previous 8th gen mobile CPUs, which kind of stunk. One weakness of that 10th gen Ice Lake CPU didn't hit high clocks. And it's not hitting high clocks here. So the very best W3300, the boost clock is 4 gigahertz versus 4.5 gigahertz. Yes, Ryzen actually has a better boost clock over Intel. That's just simply not always true. And that sort of adds up to the general slam dunking here. Like, here's some really good news so you can argue on it about Twitter. After Effects, 1.6x. Chaos V-Ray, 2x. Autodesk Maya, 1.25x faster. There's way more other numbers where a 64-core CPU against a 38-core CPU gives you all kinds of stuff to crush them over. Go look it up. But actually, in actual reality, what's very nice for AMD is 60% of workstations are now shipping with AMD CPUs. That's crazy. And what that brings is developers now going, hey, you're actually the majority market share CPU. We're now going to optimize for you. It would be kind of like a reversal of what we see with desktop and laptops, where most developers, they really optimize for Intel because Intel is still the majority CPU on laptops and desktops. With workstations, it's actually reversed, with 60% being Threadripper now. And that's led to a lot of improvements, like 2.3x improvement in Ansys Mechanical, a 200x improvement in Autodesk Arnold, and a 5x improvement in After Effects. So basically, it's like a reverse Bizarro world where, hey, we only care about Threadripper performance, so we're going to work on that. So, while you haven't been able to enjoy that in desktops and laptops necessarily, you are now able to enjoy it in workstations. Let's be real, Internet. If you are a gamer, you should not buy this part. And if you're in the DIY crowd, remember these are meant to be sold to big OEMs, Lenovo, Dell, HP eventually, and built and sold to big corporations. They're not meant for you to buy a Newegg out of an open box and integrate into your own machine. They're not really meant for that. That kind of happened is in a gray area previously, but don't expect it to happen immediately here. So now is the time where we pull the standard internet maneuver of comparing it to old parts. That is, a new part can't be compared to an old part. Example, it's not fair to compare Threadripper 5000 against a very old Ice Lake core or 14 nanometer Cascade Lake core. Of course, most people say, well, that's because you ain't got nothing newer. But that's not how it works in the internet. The bad news for AMD, though, is Intel is actually going to be introducing that awesome core that you're seeing in Alder Lake. The performance cores that you're seeing in Alder Lake desktops and laptops, that is going to go into workstations and servers very soon in a chip called Sapphire Rapids. When that shows up, it might make this a little bit more of a battle for AMD and Threadripper 5000. But of course, it ain't here yet. So in the here and now, if you're working at Shell Oil or Pixar, pick up that phone, dial the IT manager and say, I want a brand new Lenovo ThinkStation P620 because it's got the brand new Threadripper 5000. 64 cores, Zen 3 cores. Get that to me now. What do you mean we don't buy? They're not a vendor of ours. Well, the good news is the other workstation makers will eventually have this as well, but right now it's only Lenovo, so that's where you're going to find it. How much is it? I don't know. In fact, it's not provided to me because it'll be an OEM only thing. You are not going to buy these CPUs on the shelf generally and install them on your desktops. That is not for you. If you want to buy this for your gaming rig, don't do it. But it's still fun to talk about and it's still fun to argue about.